Traders, welcome back to another price action trading lesson. So today's market started out with this bullish uptrend working higher that had these additional spikes working higher here. And then we had a break in a new extreme with a downtrend and we continued working higher. So initially it felt like there was some bullish channel working higher. I just couldn't find any channel that fit quite well. There's a lot of empty room right here. And two, this all happened during the overnight session. So I just wanted to let prices print a little bit and see what the next market cycle would be. There was definitely some bullish bias to this market, but I needed to see additional price action, some additional push-ups to really trust some wider uptrend here. So we do have another little bullish channel working higher. Downtrend has a break in a new extreme. So a failed second entry short above the EMA would be decent, but it is still quite early in the day at this point. And you can see some break in new high of this short-term uptrend, and prices are back below the EMA. So this shifted from this bullish bias here into this trading range. So the market cycle has shifted now, and we have this downtrend working lower with a break in a new low. So I'm just patient here. I'm letting prices print to see if this trading range gets truly established, and we're sticking to the short-term channels. Let's see how prices act at these support and resistance levels here. You can see we instantly slice through the support here, and we have this downtrend working lower. And then prices push lower and push lower again. So now I'm starting to think about some channel working lower like this. We've already pushed lower, excuse me, quite a few times. So I'm thinking about some second entry short at the EMA, which would be right at the EMA and at this trend line here. So two key entry points. So let's see if we can get it. We have a first entry short here, and first entry short pushes straight down. So nothing changes. We broke the lowest low, so I'm still thinking about some second entry short at the EMA. But you can see we have this short-term channel working higher, and we instantly shoot up. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we've already retraced the whole move of this channel, so I'm kind of negating the idea of some channel. But I want to let prices print and see what's going to happen next. You can see we're way back below the EMA again. But then we're above. So this is more so just like an area of development. I went ahead and drew my support and resistance here. So when we look back at it in whole, we had a bullish bias push up. So this is like a bullish market cycle here, shifted into this trading range market cycle. We had some downtrend movement, and now looks like we're establishing another trading range market cycle. Well, this is a good lesson on market cycles, just to be patient, get the structure on the market cycle, and then hone in on the local setup after you have structure and know what market cycle you're trading. So now we have another push higher here. It's more so just the area development for me. I'm just waiting, being patient, letting prices print and showing their cards. So at this point, when we get this push below the EMA, I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I see these nice two legs. You can see first leg up here, break, second leg up, trading range is getting established. So it looks like at this point, this resistance is holding. So I'm thinking about some failed second entry long below the EMA, which would be a great setup to capitalize on the bears stepping back into the market at this resistance. And you can see we have a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure, which is a great high probability setup. Failed second entry long. The only issue I have with this trade is it formed as an inside bar on my chart, which I typically don't like taking inside bars, but context is very well for this. You got these broad two legs up, resistance is holding, fell second entry long below the EMA, a great high probability setup to sell with the sellers who are stepping in at this resistance level. And you can see prices push lower perfectly. We push lower and push lower again. Now, when we got this deep move like this, I was starting to think about some wider channels, something like this, which fit quite nicely. You have your first swing here, second swing, third swing confirmation. If you copy and paste this channel fits quite well. You can see a nice push phase here, correction, another push phase. So I was starting to think about some second entry short at the EMA because I was currently playing this wider downtrend. And you can see if you reset the count here, you have a first entry short pullback, second entry short. This is a great second entry short. However, there was no trigger here. There was no trigger. It stalled with this inside bar here. There was no trigger on the second entry short. But had this second entry short triggered, I would have definitely took a risk here. This is a nice second entry short. Um, and I had this wider downtrend in play when I was watching this live. But you can see prices eventually retraced up and started pushing higher. So when we started pushing like this, I went ahead and deleted this wider downtrend. And I'm starting to play this wider uptrend like this here. And you can see we have this very small overshoot of this uptrend here. So if we were to get some second entry long, I really need to be patient on the second entry long and wait for some confirmation setup. So ideally, I'd like to see a break in a new extreme and some push above the EMA. So we have this first leg working lower, break, and we get a new extreme of the downtrend, and we're back above the EMA. So at this point, I was starting to think about some first entry short pullback, second entry short failure, where this bearish bar formed here. Had this been a bullish bar, I would have definitely took a risk on a failed second entry short, because at this point, this uptrend needs a new extreme. Downtrend played out with the break in a new extreme. So I'm betting on the bulls to step back into the market and create a new extreme of this uptrend working higher. Unfortunately, my bar formed as a bearish bar. So I was patient here and prices didn't even trigger. But anyhow, I would have definitely liked to take a risk here on a failed second entry short had this been a better bar. You can see prices push lower here. So I was just letting prices print at this point. You can see that there was some wider downtrend in play that had a break in a new extreme. Um, so at this point, I'm just being patient. I'd like to see some push above the EMA and see what the next market cycle is. And that's in fact what we got here. So once we get this push above the EMA, I went ahead and drew my support here and I drew my resistance because we're transforming into another small trading range. So we transformed from this trading range into this one here. You can see prices working higher. So I went ahead and drew my wider uptrend here. And I'll start to think about some second entry long at the EMA because this uptrend still doesn't have the new extreme. And I can see that bulls are most likely going to want to retest this price level here. So I was thinking about some second entry long at the EMA, but you can see prices just instantly shot higher and created the new high of this uptrend. But we'd pushed so far high. Oh, by the way, at this point I would not have this wider uptrend. And you can see prices just push so far high. I went ahead and continued drawing this channel working higher, but we have an overshoot here. So if I would have got some second entry long at the EMA, I would have to skip due to this overshoot and wait for some confirmation setup. So I have a first entry long, pullback second entry long here. Downtrend has a break and a new extreme. So I'm thinking about some failed second entry short above the EMA. Let's see if we can get it here. And you have a first entry short pullback, second entry short failure, which is what we're looking for. The problem is we're below the EMA. I need to see something above the EMA here. Working a little sideways here. And it's getting quite sideways. I went ahead and drew this wider uptrend here that has a break and a new extreme. But I'm still expecting prices to get the new high of this uptrend. So let's see if prices can in fact do that. And sure enough, we push higher and create the new high of this main uptrend. So now uptrend's played out. So I'm expecting some stronger correction, given that the uptrend's played out. We got quite sideways at this point, so I went ahead and drew my support and resistance. So you can see we transformed from this trading range, market cycle shifted into this bullish channel, and we created the new high of the bullish channel. And since it got so sideways, we're transforming into another market cycle of this trading range. So quite a lot of different market cycles today: uptrend, trading range, downtrend, trading range, a bullish channel working higher, trading range, another bullish channel that's transforming now into another trading range. So quite a decent amount of market cycles here. And you can see when we get this push below the EMA like this is perfect. It's showing that the resistance is holding and that the bears are stepping into the market. And it's given us strength in our analysis of this trading range here. So at this point, I'm considering some failed second entry long, first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. Here below the EMA would be a great confirmation setup with this trading range. But unfortunately, you can see it formed way too low. And we needed something closer at the EMA, preferably in this area. But we do have a downtrend working lower. You have a break of the downtrend, and this is a decent setup here. Downtrend in play, trading range is your structure. If you count from the highest high, you have a first entry long pullback, second entry long failure. But if you count from this low here, you also have a first entry short pullback, second entry short, a second entry short here. Excuse me, I was going to say a second entry short failure, but it's technically a first entry short pullback, second entry short. So you have a double high probability setup here. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Count from the low, so first entry short pullback, second entry short. So great double high probability setup. It is a little bit more aggressive because you're right in the middle of the trading range, and the EMA got right in the middle of these bars, which does feel a little bit aggressive. It is a decent setup to take a risk on because it is a double high probability setup. You have a lot going for you. Downtrending's a new low, failed second entry long, and additionally it's a second entry short. So you have a lot going for you here. So in my opinion, it is worth the risk given the downtrend hitting a new low, double high probability setup. Definitely a great setup to take a chance on. And you can see prices push lower just as expected. So great high probability setup. Prices eventually created the break and the new extreme of the downtrend. And then this is where I started thinking about this wider uptrend because we pushed higher and we pushed higher, and you can see the strength of this bullish move. So I went ahead and drew something like this, which is quite wide, but we have to explain why prices continue working higher like this, why it just totally disregarded this resistance here and just continued pushing higher. So I started playing this wider channel, and I'd be thinking about some second entry long at the EMA, but you can see we're already so late in the day that this is only for educational purposes at this point. But I'm definitely, if this was during the day, I'd definitely be considering this wider channel and some second entry long at the EMA. But yeah, guys, that was the market for today. A lot of different market cycles today. You can see we started off with a bullish push up, another bullish push that eventually led into this trading range here. Downtrend working lower that led into this trading range here, a decent failed second entry long. Uptrend here that led into this trading range. We're already in somewhat of 3 different trading ranges. These are very close to being like an extended trading range. I just went ahead and drew them separately because the resistance were a tad bit off and the support was a tad bit off from here, but this is very close to being an extended trading range here, which no problem if you drew that. But you can see already these shifts in market cycles here into these different trading ranges here. Then we had this bullish push up, break, new extreme of the uptrend, and it got so flat that we even eventually led into another trading range. We had a nice failed second entry long, second entry short here. Downtrend needed a new extreme. Sure enough, prices created the new extreme for the downtrend, and we had such a strong push up on this bullish push that it makes sense to draw this wider uptrend. And at this point, we'd be looking for some second entry long at the EMA. So lastly, we shifted from this trading range into this bullish channel here. So great market lesson for trading ranges and market cycles, just how we shift from market cycle to market cycle. Because it's very important to understand what the market structure is before you hone in on the local setups. So this is a great lesson to go over market cycles and how we're shifting from market cycle to market cycle. But yeah, guys, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If this video was beneficial to you, feel free to hit that like button. I also have a trading community where I post charts daily in real time, and I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have in real time. If that's of any interest to you guys, feel free to check out the link in the description below. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys had a good trading day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.